Before I get into this commentary, let me give a shout out to Lisa Cabrera because she sent this article to me. It's been a very long time since I've done a video about the Saltine Queen. And for those of you who are new to the channel, that is the nickname I have given this individual. Y'all already should know who this is. But unfortunately, I'm not on here to give her a triple P like I would love to give her, and long overdue. And I think I've given her a couple in the past, but like the Coonstra, she hasn't gotten that moment yet, but it's coming. So actually, I think she did. If you remember that time when she was talking about how this was after she had, I guess, broke up with her fiance, or her fiance broke up with her, and she was basically going on her little feminist minstrel rant talking about how her and her friends are successful. Why don't men want us and stuff like that. That was one little moment for her, but you know, that since has faded into obscurity. We need something that lasts forever. But the reason why I'm coming on here to talk about her today is because she recently attended a police conference, and she basically went on a whole Blue Lives Matter tirade, basically using the same old tropes of if people would just comply, then nothing would happen to them. Now, I could have easily bypassed doing this as a video because this is the same song and dance we've heard plenty of times before from the usual suspects and even from some Sambos within our midst. But it gets annoying because we know who they're talking about when this so-called rule, if you want to call it that, can apply to anybody, but they limit it to just black people. And you'll see what I mean as I go through this article and some of the stuff she said. So it says Tomi Lahren, the Saltine Queen, was among several who spoke at a police training conference in Atlantic City in October. Lahren described Black Lives Matter as thugs, felons, and criminals. Now keep in mind, BLM doesn't just comprise of just black people. Okay, it's a combination of several groups and backgrounds. As a matter of fact, I've been noticing that it's just as many people out there that look like her than it is who look like us. So is she throwing them into that category? I'm willing to bet that she is not. See, that's a subliminal dig at us. And we know when they say thugs, felons, and criminals, we know, listen, we know they're talking about black people. We know that. But you have people like her that walk around like they're all pristine and there's not a blemish to their name. But I'm almost certain if someone digged hard enough, they could find something on her. She went on to say police shootings would be avoided if people would just comply with the police. And see, it's people like her that I hope have a run-in with the police one day and see if everything that all the filth that falls out of their mouth, they actually apply. And I want it caught on camera too, just for proof. Fox News personality, the Saltine Queen, told police officers that a significant number of police brutality cases could have been avoided if people would just comply with the police and would follow orders and not resist arrest. She's talking about black people. Let's just be completely 100% honest with ourselves here. The Washington Post reported that Lahren, a political commentator for the Fox Nation show Final Thoughts and No Interruption, made the comments in October at the Street Cop Training Conference in Atlantic City, New Jersey. More than 1,000 police officers from the departments across New Jersey and other states attended the conference, the Post reported. During her speech, Lahren described Black Lives Matter as thugs, felons, and criminals and a terrorist organization. Notice she single-handedly went after the quote-unquote black organization. Now, I'm not going to label them as a black organization because we have since debunked that. We know what their true angle is. But because it has the name black in it, that's all that's needed. If I'm wrong, please point it out, the Saltine Queen said, according to a sound clip of her remarks shared by the Post. But all these major headline incidents that we've had in this country involving law enforcement in the last at least 5 years could have all been prevented if people would just comply with the police, follow orders, and not resist arrest. The audience can be heard applauding and cheering in the clip. Her comments were consistent with previous statements she has made on her shows and social media. The Post investigation found the Saltine Queen's sentiments were typical of those made in commercial police training settings, even as calls for reform grow. The outlet spoke with 18 trainers and experts in addition to watching or attending conferences in New Jersey and Idaho, many of whom balked at police reform. Several blamed the media for overplaying the public's desire for reform and dismissed reformers as a small cohort, the Post found. The outlet also said many portrayed violence as an inherent part of policing. The curriculum is that you are a good person and reveling in violence and being an expert in violence is not morally wrong. Michael Sierra Arevalo, a sociology professor at the University of Texas at Austin who attended the street conference, told the Post. In fact, it's your moral duty because you're a paladin. You are this kind of warrior. Calls for police reform grew during the racial injustice protests in the summer of 2020 after the murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer. Congress engaged in bipartisan talks about a potential police reform bill last summer, but they fell apart without reaching a deal. Sources told NBC News that President Joe Biden plans to sign executive orders on police reform as early as this month. Like I said, she's saying everything that we have heard so many who are like her have said before in the past. It is nothing new. It's the same song and dance as usual. And it's real easy for them to overlook the stuff that they do within their own community, because to talk about black people all damn day and all the time in such a negative way is too easy. It's too convenient. And it brings ratings and it brings views, thus bringing them money. Because to talk about their own in the same tone that they talk about us doesn't really hit the same. Isn't that interesting? Claim they don't like us, but they need us for their own resources. Imagine if we were not around. Who would they talk about then? Well, then they'll go on to immigration. That's their next talking point. But I don't think they hit on immigration as hard as they talk about us, honestly. Because we, in some form of way, for the last I don't know how many years, bring news to their life, but it's actually in the form of entertainment, if you ask me. We all know that the Saltine Queen ain't shit and will continue to not be shit. And I think deep down she knows she isn't, but she parades herself around like she is, but she's not. And she always talks in a tone where she's trying to come off as delicate, but she's actually very vicious. And has been for quite some time. Like literally, when I look at the Saltine Queen, it's literally like looking at the white version of the Coonstress. Granted, the Coonstress feels like she's white herself, but for contextual purposes, I'm just going to stand on that square. That's pretty much all I have to say when it comes to this. I really have nothing more to add to what she said. We know it's a bunch of BS because look at who it's coming from. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you are new. Make sure to hit that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video or go live, and I will talk to you in the next one.